So what makes a deck daddy, right? A term that gets thrown around quite a bit on this channel. Well, I might think, you gotta own a Steam Deck, naturally, right? Well, that helps. I don't think that's necessarily what makes a deck daddy. The Steam Deck is a lot more than just a console. I mean, it certainly is something that a lot of us use and enjoy, but I'll be honest with you, when I first got my Steam Deck back when it first launched, the LCD model, I didn't know what to do with it. I had a very hard time finding any sort of use for it, and if I'm being honest with you, I actually thought it was more of a gadget, and I didn't see the importance of this very device. Now, it's so much more than just a portable PC. You see, when I think about a deck daddy, I think they're intentional with their gaming. They need something light, it doesn't take up a lot of space, it's easy to use, and it's fast. They don't have to worry about getting in, getting on, updates, all this, that, and the other. They can just get the gaming in when they see fit. That, for me, is huge. So, Deck Daddy as a whole is an idea. It's almost a criteria for gaming for us fathers. And so as us parents and as, husbands look at gaming in this stage of life, the Steam Deck fills a lot of those categories. But as I said, it didn't always do that for me. In fact, here I am 6 months into using the Steam Deck OLED, and only now, in these past few months really, has it become a invaluable device in my gaming setup. I went from using PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch combo to just using the Steam Deck and holding on to my Nintendo Switch for first-party Nintendo titles. My Nintendo Switch does get used, and it gets used often, but it's specifically for first-party Nintendo Switch titles. I'm not gonna purchase some sort of third-party game on there. I'm not gonna get the Kingdom Hearts series over there. First off, it's a cloud series, so that's pretty lame. But second, I want something to run my games very well. And if we're talking to Kingdom Hearts for that matter, I have the whole series here on my Steam Deck. I bought it the day it came out. It was on sale. Super, super awesome that Square decided that, or Square Enix is like, yo, we're gonna make it on sale off rip so that people get excited about it. I purchased it again for the second time. You see, I already own every single Kingdom Hearts game on my PlayStation 5. I have the whole series. But why? Why would I, someone who is talking about valuing this hobby and also trying to be wise about it, why do I find myself repurchasing titles? Not just titles, but repurchasing series. How can a device that I looked at as a gadget become so valuable to me that I'm willing to spend money again on games? So it comes down to the first point, which is this is a dedicated device. I use this specifically for all of my games that aren't on Nintendo directly. Why would I choose the Steam Deck OLED to play a game I already own on my PlayStation 5? Well, not only is it a dedicated device to my third-party AAAs, or first party, I don't have any first party Steam games or Valve games, I didn't get into it. I know they used to make first party. And the games that I use on it, I use because, well, I'm not gonna be able to sit in my office as much as I used to. And that is huge. Let me tell you, I got the Kingdom Hearts series, and I've played through all of Kingdom Hearts 1. It wasn't as good, right? It did not perform as well as Kingdom Hearts on my PlayStation 5. But I've yet to fully complete Kingdom Hearts on my PlayStation 5 because of the distractions that come with the services, the subscription services, also the limitations I have. It is not a light experience. It's a very heavy experience. I have to come into this office and I have to say, I'm sitting here and playing this, and I am not doing anything else with anyone else outside of these four walls. That for me is becoming less and less of a luxury. Not only a luxury, it's becoming less and less of an option, if I'm being completely honest with you. I just don't have that sort of time. I mean, where the flexibility comes in is using the dock and actually playing this docked mode, which is exciting and I get to do from time to time. But realistically, if I'm trying to hammer it out, I don't prefer that method. This doesn't scale beautifully, and it isn't the perfect handheld hybrid solution. It's not. If we're talking about the best handheld hybrid solution, we all know it's going to be the Nintendo Switch. This is somewhat of a close second, but again, the scaling is not perfect. When it comes to my gaming here, I find myself gravitating towards repurchasing games that I may have stuck behind the PlayStation walled garden, because I am more likely to finish a game in this form factor than I would ever be playing it on a PlayStation. And the reason for a lot of this is mobility, flexibility, location gaming, something I talk about a lot. I think it's important that I have the ability to move around, do my thing, and play on the couch while my daughter's watching a television show, play upstairs in my bed while my wife is watching a television show, do these things where I can share the space with my family as we all engage in different activities rather than isolate. And I think that is something I've said many times over, but this has become more than a device to play video games with. It's become a device that I can share moments with. While my daughter is playing her Switch, I can sit next to her and play whatever I'm doing here. She can hand off the game to me to try something or help her out with something. I can pause it, or I can sit there, put this on suspend mode, spend 15 minutes doing something. Hey, I need you to help me with this real quick. Do it, come back, and I'm good to go. The PlayStation can do that technically, but it's not as fast as I need it to be. It is not something that I can just take with me wherever I go. Sure, the PlayStation Portal situation was there, but that still had its limitations. It got me through a great deal of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but something that I learned about that experience with the PlayStation Portal is I just really need to have a hybrid gaming solution. What the PlayStation Portal proved to me was the PlayStation 5 is no longer something I can dedicate my attention to. Fixed location gaming is something I can't do. I just don't have that luxury. It's not a part of my lifestyle. Not because I want to get rid of it or I think anything wrong of it. Certainly not. It's because I move around a lot. I'm just very, very all over the place in this house, city, state. I'm going everywhere all the time. And when I want that moment, that time to myself, I want to exit the house. I want to go sit at a coffee shop, either read Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, or play through some more Kingdom Hearts. And where the Portal granted me access to my PlayStation 5, I was stuck behind the have to be connected to internet thing. I've had multiple evenings where I'm upstairs playing this device, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm gonna check to see who's on, and I realize I've been offline the whole time. My experience wasn't interrupted. Everything about my gaming experience was seamless, except I was offline. And then I connect to the internet and we're good to go and everything's fine. And I receive a few updates for a few games. And that's something that I find to be wildly encouraging is my games are always being updated, whether it's a shader here, performance update here, a different bug fix there. These games are being invested in. And something that I think is really important to me, especially when it comes to intentionally making decisions about playing video games, is looking at a device that is being created for. They are targeting this device. They're going, we want to have the green check mark or even the yellow question mark or whatever. Is it a yellow exclamation point? They want to have the deck verified. They want to have that because it means that someone like myself, a person who had 0 games in his Steam library 2 years ago, now has 59 games in his Steam library. 50 of those probably were purchased just in 2024 alone, whether it's through Humble Bundle or through gifts from people in the community. This device has become a godsend to my hobby. I know I've mentioned a lot of this before, but trying to collect the thoughts around what makes the deck daddy. Why am I such a huge believer in this gaming style? And it's because of those 4 things. It really does help create a dedicated space for my gaming to exist. Having options seems good in the grand scheme of things, but as time goes on and my time is limited, I don't want a bunch of options. I want very, very precise decisions. And so the dedicated gaming device here, knowing my library is just going to be on the Steam Deck, that's where it's going to be. If it's not Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, or Metroid, it's going to be purchased on the Steam Deck because it grants me the same type of gaming experience I'm going to get with the Switch. To know that intentionally I am using a device that is going to allow me to move around and stay present rather than closing my door and shutting myself in. This is, I mean, by definition, it's heavier than a Switch, but it is light as in it doesn't weigh you down. It doesn't keep you fixed in a spot. You're able to be nimble. You're able to grab it, throw it in a bag, and you're good to go. That is huge. And the speed at which you can get into a game is so unbelievably important. That right there, like, you turn it on, you get into a game, you're good to go. As I said, you don't even have to be connected to the internet to actually play your games. Let me show you something. I've turned off, I've disconnected myself from the internet. I am completely disconnected. There is no internet access. I am Wi-Fi turned off, and I can still get into my game. No problem. Good to go. I am in Chain of Memories right now because I have finished my Kingdom Hearts 1 run. Oh, and if you want to be a part of the conversation, a part of the community while I go through Kingdom Hearts and have fun with this series, doing that over on Twitch. That's kind of our little secret spot to hang out and have fun. And so if you want to do that, JDX Coffee. The link right here is also linked in the description so that you don't have to go and type that in. All I'm trying to say is, if you want to be a deck daddy, run it through that criteria. Is your gaming something that you want to have a dedicated, intentional, light, fast experience with? Because that really is what encapsulates this idea of being a deck daddy. It really is not as much about the hardware itself, though I believe that this is one of the better, if not the best, versions of that style of gaming. It is more about the idea of being able to maintain this hobby, but not at the expense of anything else other than maybe a couple bucks. Because I don't want to maintain my gaming hobby if it means I am ignoring my responsibilities. Sure, there's times that I can dedicate to gaming if I want to, but that means that I'm not doing something else. I'm not working out. I'm not cooking. I'm not cleaning up after, the family after we've done something. I'm not helping my wife with something. Or worse yet, everyone's in bed, it's midnight, and I'm losing sleep. It's just not the best experience. And if health, family, spiritual development are all things that are very important to me, this ends up becoming more and more difficult to do if it wasn't for the fact that this right here is so unbelievably versatile. That's why I'm a deck daddy. I want to know, are you a deck daddy? And yes, I am very aware of what I've done. It was intentional. All right, see you over on Twitch, and most of all, happy gaming.